Hey, it's Michael with Digital T-Shirt Shop. Hey, so my camera actually finally started working. So I was doing these on my phone. So I had a guy, Skid Row dude, that said that my designs were crap. Um, I wanted to talk briefly about that. Now, I made a video a second ago, and I realized I kind of talked about something that I didn't want in there. And I did it from my phone, and my phone keeps giving me errors and not uploading things. So I thought I would just redo it here real quick. Um, so a couple things about that. Number one, I'm an incredibly impatient person, and especially when it comes to designing things, drawing, art. When I would design, I would do the quickest, easiest thing possible. And it's one of the reasons why I like DTG printing, why I've liked it, is because it's fast. One thing, there's not a ton of setup. It's easy. You can just, and even then, still sometimes it's too slow for me. So, um, the, I would, I mean, a lot of aspects of that. Impatient. Um, I one of my flaws related to that is, I would sit down and draw something, and if I didn't finish it when I sat down the first time, I would never finish it or paint something. Um, and so usually things are done fairly rapidly for me. And tied to that flaw is the idea that I um, sometimes think everything could have unlimited variations or styles or things like that. And it's at times it's kind of hurt me, kind of going back at it. Um, it has, the more, if I was to sit and I was to think reasonably about it, I would realize that the more varieties there are, the less chance of something individually being standing out, I would think. Um, And so if let's say I got in kind of the habit of doing a lot of phrase t-shirts. Well, phrase t-shirts don't take a lot of time, and they don't take a lot of ingenuity, and they don't take a lot of stylization unless you're going to do a really fancy one with all the frills and bells and whistles and multiple fonts and everything like that that some people do. But simply putting a phrase on something does not. Um, and I can see how it can take your um, designs from, hey, they design really nice things, to they design really bland, basic crap. Um, and I, even like it, I have some designs that I would probably throw in the crap category. I would, but then I've got some that I've actually taken the time to design, and I know that they're much better. Um, and I've had these discussions with my wife a number of times related to this, as to whether I should spend more time on things. Maybe I should pay somebody to design some things for me. Maybe I should start with fewer things and build up a stylized brand. And I know even that's hard, because there's so many people out there that will knock off everything that you do. It's hard to be individually unique these days, because a lot of ideas feed off of ideas, and something that's popular, everybody's going to try to mimic your success, to improve their success. Um, and yeah, I mean, what do you do? So I have, I've, Mr. Skid Row dude, I would probably agree that I have probably settled for some mediocrity in what I've done. Um, And maybe that was not the best choice. Maybe it wasn't the best road to take. Um, and there are times that I've realized I could have put more time into something and I really didn't. Um, or, to have 10 designs that are designed really well versus 100 designs. You think about I'm notorious for do something really quick and a lot of variations and start hucking darts at the dartboard and see what sticks. But all that time that it took to create all those darts and all that time it took to throw all of those at the dartboard, and the cost and time and effort and all those things just to try to uh, put all those variations out there. And it's probably true that all the variations muddy the water. And with it all muddled up, how does anything really stand out and anything really appear unique? So, I mean, maybe that's a good starting point for something else. So, it's uh, and I appreciate the critique, and he was actually very kind and the way that he articulated it, and which I appreciate because online a lot of times people aren't very eloquent in what they say to people. But I'm going to give you an example. So I have designed and sell LDS mission T-shirts. It's kind of one of my little niche markets that I'm in. I don't have a lot of competition out there. It's also a very small market, and I'll tell you, there are not like a bazillion people buying this product. Okay, but it's a product that's just kind of consistently sold for me. So many years ago, I kind of had this idea to draw a kind of a seal, and I printed it out. Actually, I've got one actually right here. I can show you on a shirt that I printed. So, for example, this style right here. So I made this, and I thought after I made it, there's nothing really unique about it. Some circles, some stars, a certain font, and then with a map of a country in the middle. And I thought, I ought to make those for all the missions and see how they do. And they actually did at first pretty good for me. They were one of my items that I was selling a lot on Cafe Press, and that kind of got me into this. Well, I took the same style and I made it for every mission. There's not, a blow your mind amount of effort that has gone into this. Now, granted, there are like 400 or 500 of them, so it took time to make 400 or 500 of them. But there's nothing below your mind unique about every one of them. I claim the design, I claim the style. I drew them all up. I see them knocked off all over the place, where people have gone and printed them themselves and I didn't get paid for them, and where people have gone and manipulated them slightly and used them in different ways, and even turned around and tried to sell them themselves in a number of different cases. But then at the same time, again, if I was to classify that design, it's a very conservative design. So it's not meant to look like crap, but at the same time, it's not meant to look like so flashy and over the top that it's going to probably attract an even smaller niche of people. So taking a step back, there's a gentleman who makes a similar product, and he lives, actually, I found out, a couple streets away from me. So mine is latterdaymissiontshirts.com. His is mormonbrands.com. Now, Mr. Mormon Brands has taken the time to instead of taking one style and make it for 400 different missions, he took 400 missions and made a different style for every mission. Some of his are probably, par with mine, but some of his I think are much better than mine. And I think the amount of creativity that went into making 400 different styles. I'm not sure if he has 400 different styles. He's got a lot, but I haven't sat down and looked at it to see if he's got 400 different styles. But his, when you look at mine and his side by side, you see mine where there's the same style and pattern for all 400, and his, you look at his and there's this depth of variety. I almost look at his depth of variety and I think, wow, that took so much more time to do. And some of them clearly, I think, instead of being here, we're here, a better stylized, better, and the variety, I think, gives more depth to the whole line. Now, I actually don't even think he's printing them on t-shirts. What he's done is he's made them into coins. He easily at some point could make them into t-shirts, and then I'd have some real strong competition. And maybe I could actually print them for him. Anyways, but that's kind of beside the point. But he, that's kind of a difference there between, I took the time to make a much better product versus I am so impatient, and I don't want to take the time that I take the easiest road possible. And this is me over here. I swear this is me. I do that every single time. I'm going to take that easiest road. I'm going to do the easiest thing. And I don't always stop and look at the depth or the quality. I mean, quality can kind of be in the eye of the beholder, but I mean, you take something from good to great, it's good, but could it be great? Is there a way to make it great? Well, I could if I, maybe the problem is that sometimes I feel like maybe all the ideas don't come to me at once, and so I would have to come back to it. And coming back to something's a real challenge for me because I don't like to go back to anything. I'd like to just get it done. And not get it done in the sense that it will suffer as a result of my getting it done, a lower quality, a lower, I mean, I can put detail into it without coming back to it, but I would prefer just do it all at once. So I don't know. I guess that's kind of where I would put that. I do have some designs that are crap. Maybe it's a good time to go through and just weed all that crap out and go back to the drawing board and just come up with some good designs, some good things. Take a little bit more time on them. I know when I first started doing this, I did more of that. I tried to make things much more unique and much more, put a lot more time into it. Oh man, time is just blowing by me though. I swear I don't have time for anything. And I know I've taken all this time to make a video. But then at the same time, I get up in the morning and I feel like everything just disappears. And there's so little time to get all the things done that I want to do, let alone sit and draw a lot of new art. Now, I do have new art that I'm drawing, but it's for another project. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. And even with that new project that I'm doing, it's, as I've sat and I've talked to some people about it here and there, some of these same reoccurring issues have kind of risen to the top. And it's like, well, the quality, how high do I have to make that quality to get it to be successful? Or how high do I need to improve this, that, or the other related to it in order to yeah. I mean, because I could easily, like everything else, I could just do the quickest, shortest way to get it to market, and it'll be on to market. But will it attract anybody? And will the time and the effort and the quality that I put into it be sufficient to get people to actually respond to it? And that's the question, and it's one of those things that there are a lot of factors factoring into it. Some of those are whether my skills and abilities are sufficient to make it what I want to make it. But at the same time, I have a limited budget. And so, kind of making it the best that on one hand, I want to say I'm trying to make it the best that I can so that I can push it to market and have it be somewhat successful based on my skills. And then if it makes money, then I can turn around and pay other people to improve it, or improve future variations of it. But we'll see what happens. As for now, but a lot of this, I just mainly wanted to bring up the whole, my designs are crap, and I know a bunch of them. Yeah, crap's in the eye of the beholder, but at the same time, I would agree that there are items that maybe I could have put more effort into. And by adding too many variations of things, I probably devalued or made things stand out less than they could have individually. Just kind of muddied the water around everything that I've done. And and that's, maybe that's where designing your own product comes in. You want a variation, you design your own, but you want the single variation I created. You buy that variation of it because that's what I made. I don't put 10 variations of the same phrase on, and then maybe taking a little bit more time to stylize those a little bit better. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. Hopefully your designs are not crappy either. So have a good day.